grab yourselves a beer. It is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Now today there's been a lot of stuff coming out about the Legion expansion, and whilst I'm going to need more time to go over the Atlas of Worlds changes and especially the Balance Manifesto, we had a small little snippet that you can see all my notes for here about the new Zana Mods. So I thought I'd get this one up quickly, just jump out the back of the office at work and record it during my lunch break so that I've got something to say on this to tide you over until I can put something serious together on the Atlas. So, the new Zana Mods. They're available on Reddit. I can't link to them at the moment, but I'll do so in the next few hours. The first one is Fortune Favours the Brave. It's been there for a while. It's been bad every other time it's been around. I see no reason that it will cease being bad. It's just not worth 3 Chaos Orbs for a random mod. You want your Zana Mods to synergize with what's already on the map, and this doesn't do it. So, Fortune Favours the Brave. Maybe give it a go once or twice if you don't think you'll unlock Perandus or beyond and you want to experience those mods, but that's the only reason to use it. Second up is alternating to a different map of the same tier from tier 1 to 10. So I call this the Zana Horizon mod. This has always been strong for filling out your Atlas early on. You might find you're running your first tier 8 of the league and you get 2 maps drop of the adjacent tier 9. You can run one of them to get the Atlas bonus on that, and then you can Horizon the other one and get a start somewhere else in high tier maps on the Atlas as well. It's really good when you're running a map that you've got a duplicate of, but that you had 3 or more copies of, drop, but that you've only got 3 or so of that tier done. Next up are the 2 most underrated mods on the entire Zana's listing. These are the Shaper map, Shaper tier 1 to 5 and Shaper tier 1 to 10 map. The second one is only really Shaper tier 6 to 10. You'd never use it on a 1 to 5. These re-randomize the mods on the map, so in that sense they can be dangerous. Sometimes you will lose your map, your augmented map, because you're playing a character that deals purely physical damage, and then boom, you've got yourself a physical reflect map that you just can't beat. So sometimes you will lose out of running this, but overall it is an extraordinarily cheap way to generate tier 10 and tier 15 maps early in the league. I think that these are so powerful that you should rush for them at the very start of the league. Go straight, unlock them as quickly as you can. You unlock the Shaper tier 1 to 5 by acquiring your first tier 5 Shaper's Orb for running a tier 10 Elder Influenced map while you have the Memory Fragment quest to do so. And you unlock the second one, so Shaper tier 1 to 10, for beating your first tier 15 Elder Influenced while on that quest. So that means the time that you get your first tier 10 Shaper Orb. These mods are so powerful that many of the players that wind up with mirror or greater than mirror wealth in a league achieve that by firstly getting their start, their initial currency, from selling maps that they've generated via this method. It stops being worth doing once tier 15 maps get close to 6 Chaos Orbs plus the cost of a tier 10 map. So early in a league, tier 10 maps will typically be about 3, 4, 5 Chaos, and tier 15 maps will be 20, 25. At that point, it's extraordinarily good value. And keep in mind that as long as you've got at least 1 tier 16 map unlocked, so if you're going for this approach, unlock a tier 16, kill one of the Guardians any way you can, buy a kill if you have to. Once you've got that, you'll then be able to drop that tier 16 Guardian as well. You can possibly flood the market with it, so make sure you're using Horizon Orbs so that you can then, say for instance if Pit of the Chimera is the one that you're getting, the only one you've got on your Atlas, before you sell them, you won't necessarily be able to move 20 Pit of the Chimera early in the league, so sell some of them as Chimeras, but Horizon Orb some of them into other options, so Lair of the Hydra and so on. You will find that, or at least there's been some word said, that Horizon Orbs will be dropping in normal loot this league. I haven't confirmed that yet, and I don't know how rare they'll be. Next up we have the big daddy of those mods, and unfortunately it's not as useful. That is the Elder map. So you put in a tier 3 map, or it doesn't have to be 3, it can be anything you want, but it's better value if you put a low tier map in, and it consumes the map and then creates a tier 16 version of that map. But it costs 15 Chaos Orbs, and really it's just better value to use to turn your tier 10s into tier 15s. Running tier 15 maps is extremely lucrative because tier 16 maps tend to sell all league. Now we get to the meaty ones. We have Abyss. Abyss has been both nerfed and made cheaper. It now only spawns one Abyss, and Abyss jewels have been nerfed considerably, so I think there'll be less demand for these jewels. However, it adds a lot of monsters to the map, and it's only 2 Chaos Orbs. It's something I think you'll be using a bit early on, while there will still be people that want Abyss jewels for various reasons in their build. You can help flood the market with them. Once the league matures a bit, I don't think you'll be using Abyss anymore. Next up we have Anarchy, which adds Rogue Exiles and costs 2 Chaos Orbs. I see no real reason to use this mod. There may be a challenge in the league to kill X hundred number of Exiles. If that's the case, I'll reassess. But for now, steer clear of this. I don't think it offers any real value. Domination is next. Domination adds multiple shrines to the map, each of which will be guarded by enormous amounts of monsters. It costs 3 Chaos and doesn't really offer that much. I believe it's outclassed. In the purpose of just adding monsters to a map, it's outclassed by other options. Next up we have Bloodlines. Bloodlines is strong. Bloodlines adds additional magic monsters to the map. Magic monsters drop, I believe it's 7, maybe 8 times the loot of a normal monster, and they also can drop +1 level of item, including maps. So if you're in a tier 6 map and you throw Bloodlines on it, you can get tier 7s off all of your blue monsters in that zone. This is often worthwhile once you get to the point that the next tier of maps is considerably expensive. So for instance, early in the league, if tier 10 maps are 5 Chaos and tier 11 are 6, then don't use it on your tier 10s. But if tier 11s are 6 and tier 12s are 12 Chaos or just not available at all, then you should Bloodlines every tier 11 map that you do. Towards the end of a league, Bloodlines remains a solid option for your tier 15 natural maps, because you'll always be able to sell tier 16s. Next up we have Ambush, which adds multiple strongboxes to the map. Strongboxes are very much an all or nothing thing. They don't do all that much on their own, but if you have that Sextant mod that gives 500% increased item quantity to Sextant monsters, not Sextant monsters, Strongbox monsters, it is incredible. You should always use Ambush on maps when you have that Sextant mod active, maybe with the exception of on corrupted maps. Otherwise, I don't think you should be using Ambush. You should also generally use Ambush in conjunction with Ambush Scarabs and Divination Scarabs if you're on a map that has premium Divination cards and you've got the Scarab. Sorry, not the Scarab, the Sextant mod. Next up we have Perandus. Perandus costs 5 Chaos, adds, I believe it's 3 Perandus packs to the zone, which is a considerable amount of monsters to kill. There's also the chance to spawn Cadero Perandus, who will eat the coins that you get for killing those monsters in exchange for giving you various unique items and other things. Perandus doesn't strike me as great value. I'm somewhat expecting it may have been added in order to facilitate a league challenge. I don't think you're going to be using this all that often, but I'm willing to be proven wrong on this point. Finally, we have Beyond. 5 Chaos Orbs a go. This is a Chaos Orb sink that will remove Chaos Orbs from wealthy players in order to accelerate their gain of experience points. You only really want to consider Beyond if you've got a Headhunter belt, and then it is phenomenal for gaining XP and for funneling yourself more and more and more and more of the various buffs that you get from Headhunter. In any case, it's a niche use, but it's a very powerful one, and because the players that do it that do have a Headhunter will be running so many maps and so quickly, this will actually drain a lot of Chaos Orbs from the economy. This may result in Exalted Orbs being cheaper than they otherwise would have been. Lastly, though, we have the things that are notably missing. We have no Harbingers, and we have no Nemesis. So Harbingers are... there's also a few other things missing, Essence, but who cares? Harbingers are important because they are a phenomenal source of additional maps, more significant than Bloodlines. They also are the best source in the game of Annulment Orbs, Ancient Orbs, and various other obscure currencies, Harbinger Orbs, Beachhead maps, and the like. Their absence will be noted, but I don't think it's a tremendous game-changing effect. Nemesis, on the other hand, is more significant. This means there is no way to acquire a headhunter that is a shaped item. So Eternity Shroud, which has not been nerfed but has been made rarer according to the balance pass today, Eternity Shroud builds will not be able to get maximum benefit from a headhunter because they won't be able to get a shaped one. So that's my thoughts on this. There's also some notes that Headhunter is being made more rare in general, which means I'm assuming that the Nurse card, the Doctor card, and possibly also the Fiend card will be made rarer than they are at the moment. Certainly, there's no potential for it to drop from normal monsters in a map that has Nemesis on it. So, all in all, I think it's been an interesting league for Zana Mods. I'll have to reserve my judgment, but for people that are looking for which ones to prioritize unlocking and using, shape a tier 1 to 5 map early, shape a tier 1 to 10 map mid-league. These are the important ones. The rest will be things that you'll just use in certain niches. Anyways, if you've got any questions, fire away below. Otherwise, have a good one.